What's up everybody, Supersmallchibiwolf here, and today I'm going to be reviewing Mobile Suit Gundam. This is a 43 episode anime series, and the first thing I want to talk about are the characters. The characters were funny, great, cool, lovable, and I enjoy their interactions with each other and the interesting stories that they have developed, or how they, were told, the stories that were told before they joined this team fighters. Now, what I enjoy also is how they kind of have the meetup, how everyone meets up. That's pretty cool as well. Now, the first character I want to talk about is Amo. Amo, he was a nice, smart, and talented Gundam pilot, inventor, and engineer. Sometimes he is shy over girls that he likes, but, and this is one of the things that I enjoy, these moments, seeing him in this way. Now, Amo, he's an interesting guy, and he is one of my favorite anime characters, and his design is cool and iconic, just like his mobile suit, Gundam. Specifically the RX-78/2 model. But besides that, yeah, so I enjoy. One thing I enjoy also is that he goes through a interesting development which changes how he fights later on and towards the end. Now, I won't spoil anything, but it's something that I wanted to kind of put a light on, right? And I also like how it made him more intense and interesting. It made fights whenever he's in fights more intense, and I think that's really important and cool. Next character I want to talk about is Frau, or Fraubo. Now, she was, let me just be honest, Frau is one of the greatest characters in this anime. Okay, like she's not the, I would say, in a way, she is tied with Amuro. Amuro is right here, but Frau is right here. You know what I mean? And when they work together, I see that it's so. What was it? The adventures within the Gundam were way better when they were together. I think it was more fun seeing that interactions more than any other. Now, Frau, she was a cute and nice-hearted girl that loves and cares for about Amuro and her friends. Now, in my opinion, she is the cutest and best girl of Gundam. But besides that, I think she is also very useful in many ways. She was very smart. She helped everyone out whenever, people were in during war. She would be like a caretaker to the children on board. She would be there to kind of guide everyone to their spots so everything could kind of work out during combat. And overall, I think she was a really skillful and talented girl. And also, I enjoy her story throughout Gundam. And alongside Amuro working with him, I think it was really cool how they, made Frau or Frau really, like talented, diversity, and all that stuff. She wasn't just like, you're the friend character. That's it. You know what I mean? Or damsel in distress, or something like that. She was actually used in a great way. And I loved it. So the next character I want to talk about is Char. Char, he was a nice, smart, and interesting guy. He has a cool design and outfit which makes him one of the most iconic villains, antagonists within anime, and I enjoyed that. He was skilled in combat, and his fights with his Zaku were creative and fun to watch. I enjoyed that he was also a really good, planner. Throughout the fights, he would plan everything nice and neat, and specifically do certain things to take down his opponents. I enjoyed that. He made, I would say this, his fights with Amuro made Amuro more interesting and him himself interesting. It kind of comes together, bounces off, not bounces off, but it balances, a well balance between the two. When one goes bad, the other one succeeds. When one succeeds, the other one it goes bad, and then they kind of learn from each other, and they kind of grow like that. I enjoyed that. Now, I would also say that he was also an interesting and great guy. And throughout the series, I was like, I was interested in the guy. I was like, this is an interesting, intense character that knows what he wants, and he's actually going to do stuff. Now, compare him to other villains in other mecha animes, because that's the genre of Gundam mecha. I would say Char really surpasses a lot of them. But hey, that's just what I think. When we break down the categories of what makes a good character, I think Char really succeeds in many of them. Now, I would also say that he does what was it? I would say his life, like besides all the fighting and warfare of Gundam, him himself and his own personal life was also interesting and fun. Now I won't spoil anything, but let me just say that his connections with the Orton Force Federation, I believe. Yeah, it was really cool. Now I won't spoil anything, but let me just say I loved it. How they had that little connection over there. Now, next character I want to talk about is Hayato. Now, let's just say this. He was a nice and chill guy, To be honest, he reminds me of Krillin of Dragon Ball. In a way, he's like the Krillin of Gundam, in my opinion. But I would say this, that Hayato, he does stand out from just being like that. He was funny, he was interesting at times, he was ready to fight, he was ready to chill. He was like the guy that, he knew what he wanted and he knew when he wanted to do stuff, when and where. When it's time to fight, he was there. When it's time to chill and be funny, he brought up he brought some light to a darkness which was just like warfare all the time and this and that. He was the one. He was chill. And I respect that about him. Hayato, he's pretty cool. He wasn't a egotistical guy who kind of thinks he's the best of the best. No, he was nice, cool, and respectful, and that's another reason that I liked Hayato. Next character I want to talk about is Bright. Now, Bright, he was a nice and serious leader. That is a understanding thing. But I would also say that he is well balanced. In many ways. And what I mean by that is that, like this, sometimes he is hard on Amo, and in hopes of him to improve and kind of have more improvement to his skills and take the work serious and kind of get away from these childish acts. And I think what he did, and his kind of little comparing him to other characters in Amuro and other characters, I would say he was one of the best ones. Yes, he was a little bit serious here and there, but I think what makes up for it is that he had like a little bit of a interest to his other companions, and that kind of started to open it up. But then later on, they kind of made it more of a, they kind of showed. I don't want to spoil anything, so that's why I'm trying to word it perfectly. So let me just say this: the way Amuro is handled and the way Char is handled, Bright is in a way handled the same, but not as much, because I would say that his job, he was, I'm simply basic. I don't want to say that because it sounds bad, but it's basic in a good way. So yeah. So the next character I want to talk about, and these I'm going to kind of speed talk about, Sailor. I think Shayla was an interesting girl with an interesting past and relationship with Shaw. She was a good and lovable girl that was really talented and, somewhat great. What was it? No, funny. I mean, I would say that a lot of moments where she was involved in were really great. And besides Amuro and the others being there for her, I think many times Sailor has shown time and time to be really useful and successful within the Gundam team. Next character is Kai. Oh, let me say this. Okay, I love, Kai, he's cool. I love the characters that's similar to Kai. Kai is the funny dude. He's the chill guy. He's like, hey, what's up, what's good? Yeah, I think, to be honest, yeah, that's exactly how Kai is. Like, I could end it just there about Kai, but he has more of his personality throughout. One thing I would say about Gundam is that the character developments actually have developments, not just I got to power up. What do you have? You know what I mean? So Kai, he went from someone who was like, hey, what's up? We're chilling, we good. Sometimes lazy, childish behaviors, this and that, to a funny, chill guy that takes his work seriously. And I would say episode 26, time period of 1640, is where we have some more character development that actually, gives him some heart, and expanding on this character and doing more with him. I appreciate Gundam doing, So let me just say, Kai, he might sound he and Dad Force, but I enjoyed, and I'll even say that this is an example of how to do a character development for his type of character. Now, he started out as a little bit arrogant and this and that, but later on he actually is one of the best characters, and I was surprised to be honest. Yeah, I think that would be without spoiling anything. I think that I need to end it there because I don't want to spoil anything about him because it's pretty cool. So next thing I want to talk about is the story. So the story starts in the year 0079 of Universe Century. A half century has passed since the humanity began moving to space. The furthest space city from Earth is Side 3, which proclaims itself as the Principality of Xeon. They began a war of independence against the Earth Federation, and in roughly 1 month of fighting, the Prince of Xeon and the Federation forces caused uh, many deaths, and which resulted in half of the population being gone, eliminated. Now, present day, the Earth Federation has created its own powerful mobile suit called the Gundam. We are also introduced to Amuro, Frau, and Hayato. Now, I enjoyed these characters. After their discussion, Amuro and Frau drive off. Later on, they are in a shelter to defend themselves against an attack that is happening outside. So Amuro goes off in search of his dad and to request an evacuation to the ship that arrived that day. During this, he is confronted by the soldier, but he eventually wins the interaction with him, and yeah, pretty cool. But Amo also finds a classified book which turns out to be the instruction manual that explains how to pilot the mobile suit called Gundam. Later on, helping his friends while he gets inside the Gundam and activates it, which at first he kind of has difficulties managing how to walk the Gundam, but he eventually succeeds fighting off the villains using Gundam's cool sword. After Amuro impresses the Federation, they want him to join them, and Shaw is in search of Cylinder. And from there, the story of Gundam continues. So it's a really cool story. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the music. The music was great and perfect because the intro and outro fits in. It truly makes for a great introduction and send off of the episodes. And I really like them. For example, in certain episodes we hear some nice songs as well. For example, whether it's moments of sympathetic or moments of joy and happiness. I think many times in Gundam they use many smooth rhythms and creative instruments, and they kind of mix it up and create some pretty cool music, and I enjoyed it. And overall, I love the music of Mobile Suit Gundam. Now I'm going to say a quick little thing. So I meant this to be the 40th review because the anniversary of Gundam. But then I realized that I believe it was Dream Hunter Rim that kind of was the 40th review or Kira, which I will have on the side, by the way. But besides that, yeah, just wanted to put that out there. So that's why this is the 50th review, to actually give him more love. So yeah. One thing I wanted to include as well for the 50th review is kind of tell a little bit facts, right? So the first mega anime series was Astro Boy, originally named Tetsuwan Atom, and it was created in 1951 by Osamu Tezuka. On 1956, Tetsujin 28 Go created, or what was it? That was like a serious. So that was created by Mitsuteru Yokoyama, while Astro Boy was the first mecha anime that focused on that kind of, what was it, focused on, on a young mecha boy who is similar to a human, and, he kind of, and also, obviously Astro Boy is, what was it, mecha guy, boy, going on trying to learn about how to become a human, or what was it? No, learning human emotions and all that stuff. That kind of started off with Astro Boy, and then later on we got other cool anime mechas, like for example Evangelion, Neon Genesis Evangelion. We got what was it? Well, Gundam, obviously, and many more mecha animes. So I think that was a pretty cool thing to add. Also, the very first Gunpla kits released by Gundam was Amuro Ray's RX-72, oh no, RX-78/2 and 144 and many other scales. Now, the first Gunpla toy kits debuted in July 1980 and was very popular at the time and still in this day. In fact, I even went as far as to build my own. You know what's funny about these kits? They kind of, these are like the big box ones, and this is what it makes. So I was like, oh, obviously there's more stuff within that box, but I don't want to, well, break what I already built. So yeah. Now, what I want to say is this. This is one that's really cool. This Gunpla. I got that one. That one was really, that one was already built, and it was really cool. So those are the Gunpla kits. Well, the first one I shown was. So that's another cool thing that I wanted to show within this video. Now, moving on from that, I think, overall Gundam was really great and created many things, and that's another reason that I wanted to choose it for my 50th special. Now, let me just say a little bit more things before ending it off. Like, for example, the voice, what was it? Towu Fuya, the voice of Amuro, also voiced Yamcha from Dragon Ball, which was another cool thing that I really loved. And also, she voiced Tuxedo Mask from Sailor Moon and other big animes like Pokemon. So that's another really cool thing that I wanted to say. Oh man, Gundam overall was really a great anime, from its great memorable moments to its crazy fights and even the backstory of how it was created. I think, which kind of I'm going to link to my last thing I want to say about Gundam. So the last thing I want to talk about is Gundam is one of the best mecha animes, in my opinion. It's very iconic, the characters, and obviously the Gundam itself, RX-78/2 Gundam model. And then, many times, well, in my experience as a kid, I grew up I'm a 1990s kid, I remember seeing like Akira posters and old VHS stalls and Gundam, like this one or not the other one. I think it was the Ring, Gundam Ring, and this one, yeah, mostly on the back, you know what I mean? And display and nice thing, frame. Yes, that's the word. And, I remember looking at these and finally watching Gundam. I want to say, yo, I love it. A lot of people, and I want to say this right now, a lot of people look at old anime like Gundam, the first Gundam, or something like that, and they kind of say, oh, that's too old, or that's not my thing. I say, and now this, not everyone, but this was many people that I ask, why does the looks matter? They would say this, the looks make what the anime is. And in my opinion, that's just dumb. Okay, I'm gonna just say it how it is. If an anime's looks turn you off, or video games looks turn you off, then wow. Just, that's all I'm gonna leave it, okay? That's not a good thing, by the way. Because, to be honest, Gundam might not have the best graphics, but it truly is really great at storytelling. Yes, it is. There are many mecha animes that came afterwards that have surpassed it in many different categories, but that does not devalue Gundam. And that's the thing I wanted to talk about, within this. So, next thing I want to say is, I love Mobile Suit Gundam. From the characters to everything else, this truly made for an amazing special 50th review. And this Chibi review, I'm just so hyped. I was so hyped to making it, and it took me 3 times because I just sounded so hyped like I am now. But yeah, with that being that, here's to 50th plus more reviews. Tell me in the comments what you all think about Mobile Suit Gundam. Also, from the music, the characters, the art, and all, I love Mobile Suit Gundam. and it was really great. The animes that I recommend watching are Tenchi Muyo because it is also a cool comedy, sci-fi, lovable characters, and just all-out great anime. I love Tenchi Muyo. And Gunbuster, the last anime, the 49th anime before this one. I hope I am correct about that because I didn't check. But besides that, be it that, I hope you enjoyed the videos. You know what? I'll even recommend one more just because this is a special video. Dragon Ball, the original. There. The season finale of last year. So with that being that, I hope with all three of those cool animes, I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and until next time, bye.